Well, time for another conversation with Rob Manchester, head coach at Georgia Military. Coach, how are you?
We're doing great, doing wonderful.
I think this probably is the deepest into a year we've ever had a conversation, and for good reason. You were into the semifinals, and we knew you were into the semifinals, just didn't know if you were going to be at the house or if you were going to be on the road for the first game. You are at home, so obviously that is great news for you and team.
Oh, it is. It's kind of been a whirlwind of events. You spend almost 3 weeks there at number two, and then you get jumped, and who knows what happened last week? But finding out on Monday that we were now going to be number two, got to cancel, flights and charters and hotel rooms, which was good, but at the end of the day, I think the way our young man and we approached it was, hey, look, felt like we got slighted, but at the end of the day, we, going into the year, if we're like, hey, you got to be one of the four teams, do you care where you play? All of us would have taken it. So, I think us pretty well. Travel doesn't necessarily worry us. We could go play in the parking lot. We got working and before last week and had all the arrangements made. Thanks to our administration, they were going to fly us out there. And I mean, our guys are resilient and they persevere. I mean, I think when you've been used to traveling to New York, Pennsylvania, Utah, and all this, I mean, traveling to Kansas wouldn't have been a big deal. But we got the word last Monday, and that was kind of the icing on the cake. Now we get to have a home game. And more importantly, I think, Robert, is that I think it's huge for our institution. We get to showcase Georgia military and then just our community. I think you've been there the past 4 seasons with me, and I think we've had, some of the best crowds that we've ever had. We got great support, but now you add a playoff game, and the only thing going on a Sunday around here, it's going to be an amazing, environment. I think it's going to be a lot of people here, so we're
I think
excited.
so too. Now, how many does Davenport Field hold?
I think it holds right around 1,600. Well, we got 240 some odd cadets, and then our prep school band's about 65. They're going to be there, so it's about 1,300. We're bringing in. We already had extra bleachers, but on the visitor side, they're putting two sets of bleachers up on either side of the visitor side. I mean, it's going to be standing room only probably. They're looking at maybe 1,800 or so or more. Don't know. The NJCAA handles all the ticketing, so I don't know where they are in regards to current sales, but I think it's going to be a great environment.
Now, you mentioned the ticketing, the NJCAA handles it. So is everything online, or will tickets be available at the gate?
They will be available at the gate. The NJCAA does send a representative to down there. It'll all be done electronically. There's no cash. It's all like the Square or hometown ticketing is the one that's handling it. But I guess they'll have their scanners and everything like that here as well. Not much different in the price if you buy it at the game or before. But I mean, it's you can come see a heck of a football game and two teams for under $20, I think. So
For those watching in this moment saying, hey, I'm going to be there and get my tickets, where do they go? Do they go to the NJCAA website?
the base thing is just go to njcaa.org/tickets, and it'll take you right to that link, and you select Davenport Field and GMC versus Hutch, and you can go ahead. I think after taxes and fees, it's like 1820 or something. The original ticket price 15, but um, you know, we we're out of that whole deal. Everything else is going to be like a typical game day operations, but obviously it's going to be a heck of a lot more people than we're normally having.
And ESPN Plus will be there. So you've got not only the ability to watch the game live, you've got the ability to see multiple angles, replays, the whole 9 yards on ESPN Plus. All right, the game itself. against Hutchinson. I like the matchup because I think you are more geared towards a run game, and that's what is more prevalent with them. They've got an able-bodied quarterback, don't get me wrong, but they do have a powerful run game. I like that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's two teams that are alike, similar in man, they got their running back number 3 committed to Missouri. One, he's unbelievable back. Um, Whereas I think we got a stable of backs. All three of our guys bring a little something different to the table. I think we got with Keenan Phillips, and we're going to run the ball. Line up 11, 12 personnel and that kind of stuff, and run the ball. They got a great quarterback that can beat you with his feet. We also got a pretty dang good quarterback that can beat you with his feet. And so it's from offensive standpoint, they got good receivers. I think we got good receivers. It's we're gonna have a worker cut out for us defensively.
The fact that you are playing on a Sunday, how does that alter your prep week schedule? I mean, it's only a day later, and I know not this year, but in years gone by, Georgia Military has played Sunday games. So does it alter your preparation week at all?
Not necessarily. We're trying to approach everything the same. I mean, it's another game, and that's kind of how we're trying to approach it. Look, I think you and I talked about it earlier in the season about a month ago. I mean, ever since we went out to snow, I mean, it's been playoff type of mentality. I mean, we play the number 4 team out there on the road, and then the number 9 team. And if you wanted to get to this position, you had to win those games. So I mean, we've been kind of in playoff mode, for a while now. But it's it's the next one. The goal is to be 1-0. I know this coaches speak, and it's kind of generic, but I mean, it's we want to be 1-0, and the process leading up to this game is not going to be any different. Now we do get an extra day just because the game's on Sunday, so kind of typically we always lift on Monday and Wednesday. We're still doing that. Mondays we met positionally and stuff. That's not unusual. Really, the only thing Tuesdays you're really kind of grind days. Every day is, but we're going to do 2 of those. So so like Tuesday's practice, we're also going to duplicate that on Wednesday. And then, Thursday will be a Wednesday and Friday will be a Thursday. Then Saturday, we're going to have some meetings and do our normal Friday walkthrough. Probably have the young men down here at the facility watching the SEC championship game. We'll do our typical 9 o'clock team meeting and get ready for Saturday. I mean, Sunday. So nothing will change on Sunday. Game's a little bit later. Pregame will be around 10:15, and we're just getting ready to go play.
The fact that you have sat out now, what, about a month since you played football, is that of any concern? I mean, do you get into a rhythm week after week where you feel like you're in this rhythmic kind of game or mindset? And when you sit out a month, does that concern you?
I mean, I guess we haven't really discussed it or thought about it. You know, uh, Basically the second half of our season, we had Andrew at home, and then we had to go to Utah, then come back home, play Clayton State, and get back on the road again. So on the 9th, we still had 2 more weeks of junior college games. Really, the week after the Lackawanna game, we lifted. We didn't do anything with them practice wise. We felt like it'd been a long, arduous season, and we needed to let them rest. Besides the lifting, and then so we did that essentially, and then the next week, we still lifted, and then we actually went out and we practiced 3 days. Um, didn't practice on Monday. We went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we just did an hour and a half typical practice. It wasn't necessarily anything working on Hutch, even though we kind of been working on Hutch for a while, just because we thought that might be who we have to play. Um, and so we got 3 really good days in, a lot of best on best practicing. So we got 3 good days the week before Thanksgiving, and then last week we lifted again on Monday, and we had 2 really good practices on Tuesday and Wednesday. And, we started working on Hutch then, along with all the other stuff that we do. Then we let them go home for Thanksgiving. And now here we are. It's game week. So, I mean, I don't know necessarily if, you practice, 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 because I mean, we played 11 games, and I think also it was about recuperating and getting, healthy, getting rid of some of the bumps and bruises. That Lackawanna game and the snow, I mean, those are really tough games. But I think they prepared us to be in this moment to have to play 60 minutes.
As a coach, I think it's almost your responsibility, not your responsibility. I'm being a little facetious, but finding things to kind of be worried about. 9 games in a row, coaches will tell you eventually you're going to have an off game. Is there a fear that, after 9 straight wins, that this is that off game?
No, hopefully we got it out of our system a little bit. That fourth quarter up there at Lackawanna was, we did not finish the way we wanted to. I mean, throughout the course of I don't know if we've played a perfect game. Maybe Snow and Iowa Western are the closest, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know if anybody ever plays a perfect game. Uh, you got basically situations in a game where you have adversity that you got to, overcome. Lackawanna, we were able to hang on. We overcame a little bit of adversity. We're able to make a stop. I personally feel like, this is going to be a knockdown, drag out, typical type of game. I think we're built for playing 60 minutes. I think some of our opponents would tell you that, you got to bring it for 60 minutes. And our goal hopefully is to, keep it close or give ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter. They're a really, really talented, good team, but I think we're pretty decent as well. So, I mean, I'm not looking for any letdown. Yeah, it has been a little bit, since we played, but I think we're going to be ready to rock and roll. I mean, if we face adversity during the game, I mean, bottom line is we got to overcome that and just play each series, each play, and just grind it out. And I think we'll have a chance to win.
Coach, congratulations on a great year. I want us to talk twice more, once prior to the championship and once as a recap of the season. So I'm banking on 2 more conversations before the year is done.
Well, that's great. And I wish you would be here with us doing it on JockJive, but I know we got ESPN in the house. But, I think hopefully you'll be watching and, see what happens. But we appreciate everything you've done for us this year. And, I think what you and Mike do as well with that podcast is great for junior college football. And we're fortunate to be in this situation. Hopefully we can make the best of it. I think Davenport's going to be rocking, and hopefully we can, we can give Hutch a game.
I think you are right. The biggest game, maybe in the history of the school, played at Davenport coming up on Sunday. Coach, let's talk a week from today, or roughly a week from now, and talk about a championship game.
Hey, that'd be awesome. Let's hope and pray.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.